Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing today? This is Logic from Parker Logic, and we are on our Linux 2 series. It's pretty much going to go from the basics to a little bit moderate, but all of these tools you'll definitely need. So, let's get into it. I kind of should have made sure that my screen was right, but let's get this going. We're going to go over all of these. These are some really important commands. They may look a little complicated, but it's definitely a lot easier than it seems. The biggest thing that matters about all of these commands is you'll be using them on a daily basis when you're like deep hacking things. And even if you're just using this for Linux basics because you want to become a guru in Linux, for any of the other multiple purposes, this is just to kind of reiterate a little bit, do a recap. And once we're done with all of these commands, we're going to go to HackTheBox. Well, we're going to do the environment's going to be on HackTheBox, but we're going to go to HackTheBox and actually exploit a box for you. So, with that being said, let's dive in. So, just in case we already know, we got to log in, go to labs, kind of push past that. Before we get started, I wanted to mention one thing. If you ever see me, my hacker name is Canary. Definitely come by, show some respect, come show some love, add me. Maybe we can hack together, depending on where you are. Um, my try hack me is way higher than this, but hack the box is where I'm most comfortable. It's pretty ironic, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go to machines, retired, because we can only do retired. And then last time we did lame. This time we'll be doing nibbles. I kind of like to go and see what people think. This kind of helps me. You can tell that I've already done it. But 4,000 people said it was a piece of cake, and I truly believe it's because they have good foundations. This is why I'm building this starter kit for you. I want you to be one of the people to go to at least the easy ones and be like, that was a piece of cake, as long as it was designed well. So anyway, we're gonna go to nibbles. We're gonna, if you can't find it and you're following along, you can type that right here under the active and retired. You can just type in nibbles and it'll show up for you right there. So there we go. We're gonna click on adventure mode. We're gonna connect to the server by going to machines, because we went to machines, and then go to pwn box. This is if, once again, if you don't have a fancy machine with a bunch of RAM and all that. I have a $3,000 laptop, so I can handle it, but some of us don't have that. So they created an environment on cloud, a cloud environment container called Pwnbox. So we'll click on that, click what's the closest to you. If you do have VIP, what I like to do is find the server with the lowest amount so you can get the least amount of lag. There we go. We switched over to 25. And now we're starting that up. Meanwhile, we want to spin the endpoint machine that we're going to attack. We want to get that going as well. and we'll just kind of relax until then. How's everyone's day going? Um, let me know if you have anything that you're really interested in. If there's like a specific box or a tool or um, any of the route that we're going to show. If there's any questions, let me know. And this isn't designed to be perfect. This is designed for you to kind of see flaws here and there. I try my hardest to do it a little bit ahead of time, but it is what it is. While we wait for that to spin up, I will mention we will be using GoBuster today in map. Um, I wanted to do Hydra, but that can take a while. But Hydra's for cracking passwords. We've seen Nmap and GoBuster in the previous stream. We will be reading a little bit of HTML, so get ready, and JavaScript. Just a little, just a little. And then we're gonna go over permissions and file system, all of this again, and more depth. All right, looks like this is online, so we can go to the machines and open the desktop while we wait for the actual machine to, or the target to show us its IP address. So like I said, I love to go to my background, change it, give it a little bit of flavor. You know what I mean. There we go. All right, we have that going. We might as well get tmux started. So type in tmux. Control L once again to clear. And let's see what else we need. We need to spin up Firefox so we can get ready for to check the IP address to target it. All right, it's spun up. Here we go. Let's copy that. First thing we do. And this, we're still getting into Linux basics. This is just best practice. I'm so used to doing it. Let's just see if a website pops up. Okay, so now we'll kind of focus on our Linux and we'll go from there. All right, so we have tmux. Oh no, this one does not have tmux spun up. I don't know how two of them opened. All right, so this one has tmux open. You can kind of see by right here. And then we're gonna press Control B. If you ever watch any other tutorials, you'll hear them say preset. And preset is right now for us Control B, but they say preset because you can change the preset to whatever you want. Obviously, this isn't a tmux episode, but we will talk about that a little bit. So preset, so Control B and then Shift 5, which is the percentage. Control L. So we just want 2 open right now. And then, we'll kind of do our thing from there. So the first thing I wanted to go over with Linux is ID. This shows the permissions on the user ID side, the group ID, and let me zoom in. Control BZ. Whenever it wants to register. Okay. Somehow I closed it, but let's do it again. ID. So it shows I have my user has 1002, my group has 1002, and then I have 27 pseudo privileges and I have 100 user privileges. So that is something I kind of want to break down before we even get started. This goes back to this because this is important. So whenever you're like inside of another network, you have infiltrated a network, you need to know where you are. And like I said, my last journey when I first did this, I rushed, and I was so confused. Matter of fact, it took me 8 to 12 hours to complete nibbles. That's how much time it took. And it can be like that for you on your own, especially if you don't have these tools and you don't understand a lot of the foundational concepts. So, when you get inside of a network, you need to understand what privileges you have. And your goal is to at least to get root privileges, so you can be able to get enough information per user. So, um, when you see, let's zoom in. So when you see UID, this is just the owner. So obviously it showed me as the owner, Canary, and then it showed UID, and then it showed how much, I mean, it showed that I own that file, and then group. Now think of group, and this goes to Active Directory, which is something very, very important you need to learn. But we're going through little by little. When you system admin, network admin should assign you to having the highest privileges per that small group. Let's say you're a project management or whatever. So you have to work your way in from Sam all the way up to maybe the lead, to maybe James, all the way up to the system admin. Sometimes you don't have to go that high, but I'm just explaining the chain so you can understand why file permissions are very important. Um, so let's go back. We'll dive into that a lot more as I explain things. So let's make a file first. So what would be, I'll show you the processing system while we make a file. So PS is the command, and then aux. And then to look at this on tmux is Control B, so pre-shift, and then left bracket again. We're gonna go up, press up on the D-pad all the way till you get to the top. You can just press home too at the same time, or yeah, let's just go to the top. Okay, so what you can see is all the root processes that I have. So I have root over this, over that, and just to kind of let you know what the processing system is. It's just like when you go to your what is it, Alt Control Delete, when you go into your task bar or your task manager. There we go. So you go into your task manager and you see all these things that are running. This is exactly the same thing, but this is just via Linux. So these are all the processes that are running. Okay, so let's get out of here with Q to quit. And now I'm going to show you another really cool command. And this is pretty elite, but don't command. So let's say we wanted to just look for all of the root processes. So um, we would cat ps, no, we would ps aux, and then we're gonna, so we're doing that same last command. Now we're gonna pipe. Pipe is, it's piping is like saying, hey, let's combine. It took me like 5 months to fully understand what pipe means. It's because all of the tutorials I went through, I just didn't understand what they were saying. So that's why I've made this YouTube to show you guys the easier way. So to me, when you think of pipe, just think of, I want to do this command and that command. So piping is just adding them together. This command and that command together. That's, so now we're going to do, so we're going to run the aux, the processing system, and then we want to, I'm showing you a lot, so we want to grep. Grep means to grab something. Just think of it that way. That's the easiest way. So I want to go to the processing system of, and plus I want to grab only root. And then we're going to save it. If you remember that one from the last one, save it to, we're going to call this process.txt. So we want to go to Vim, or we can cat it. We can just cat it for now. We'll cat process txt. And now you see how it only, it's only really showing most of the root. This canary one snuck in, but it mainly narrowed it down to just showing the root processes. So we'll go look at it real quick. Control B, left bracket, and then we'll go up. And now you see how it's mostly just showing root. So we pretty much said we only want to look at that. So that is very important. When you make it into another system, and you can go and look at each file, and which is good practice when you first start, and you can ls your way in, and look at every file and then cd into whatever until you get, and then look at it again. But what I just did was saying, hey, inside of here, just get me those specific those specific credentials, and let me get on out of here. So that is a huge shortcut. Another one is, so let's see, is find. So we'll find, this is what I like to use. We'll find iname, which means insensitive name. And it just means that it's case sensitive. I mean, it's not case sensitive. So as long as it finds it, we're good. So we can go to find, and then we'll go, let's say, into Etsy password. And then we're gonna, so that is the file we want to look into. And then we'll use canary. Or let's see, hold on. Okay, yeah, so then we'll say root to, because I have canary spelt so weird. Let's see, find warning. Let's see. Let's see if I could save this to something called root, or root.tx, or let's come up with a better name. Hola, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Okay, let's see. Well, it's time to do a little research. Why isn't my find working? Why, while I look for this, I wanted to mention find that what I wanted to mention is research, patience, and resilience are the main three things you need. If you're not researching and you're not actively looking, I can also use help. But yeah, I'm going to go to help because let's go to find dash help. Why isn't it giving me the goods? All right, here we go. I'm missing like one option, and I believe it's a slash, but I want to make sure. Let's ask our handy chat GPT because we need to know this fine. How to Oh, I had it reversed. See? Okay, so let's go back. All right. The most important thing is that I did wrong. Path first. So there we go. Path first. And then password /etc. Let's just do that. And then we do iname. Boom. It worked. Okay, so the main thing, the reason why this isn't working is we don't have privileges to go into root. But this is just good to know. So if you want to find something, you have to put in the exact path and then you put in dash I name again, dash I name to make it insensitive. Trust me, if you just leave it name, you'll have to make sure if you're looking for something complicated, you don't know if it's capitalized or not all the time. So yeah, there we go with find. Let's go. Let's move along. Oh, this is really important. So talking about so when you are let's control L to empty that. When you are looking for, eventually you'll get to a point where you're going to start bash scripting and Python scripting. And I'll show you a little bit. I'll show you one Python script today, and it's the most, to me, one of the most important, and I think most ethical hackers will agree, and it's to create a stable shell. We'll talk about that later. But um, when you are when you're doing bash scripting, there's a certain way to talk to your shell. So first thing is you need to know what shell you have. And right here, you could see that you're bash because the tmux tells you, but there's still another way to find this out. And it is echo. Echo is just like saying, hey, I want to scream to the computer, or computer talk to me, scream to me, yell to me, whatever, echo back this command. It usually starts off with a dollar sign. That's like something for variables, which is in the coding side. A lot of my coders know about this really well. But yeah, this is a way to say, hey, I want to do a variable, and this is right now. I'm gonna show you. This is called an environmental um, process, like a environmental uh, echo. So what is it? What did it do? It showed me that we are in bin bash. It showed that we are using the bin bash shell. And once again, a shell is, just think of it as the terminal. We're in this specific type of terminal. There's multiple different terminals, bash being one of the most popular for Linux. So this is what you'll see most of the time. And it's just showing you the path, like how you did pwd to kind of print the directory. Um, it's just showing you the path. We're in root, so it's just showing us a slash. So anyway, I wanted to do a little bit more practice with the shells, with some of the environmental shells. So let's go back and find some of them real quick. All right, so that is the most common one. Here's another one right here that you can use. Echo $, all caps. They're always in all caps. And they always are right next to the $ user. So it's saying canary's the user. Um, Here's one more I wanted to show you. Echo $, and then term. Oops. It needs to be all caps once again. So it's saying the terminal you're using is tmux. If you were using another type of, like if we wasn't using tmux, it would tell you some different stuff. It'd probably say something close to bin bash or something like that. So anyway, maybe this last one real quick, if you're following along and actually getting your hands dirty, which I recommend. This will all make more sense as I enumerate that box. So it's, what's the name of the host? HackTheBox, blah 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 blah, whatever they called it. This is the container, cloud container we randomly spun up. So yeah, so there we go with that. Echo, you can let's do TTY. So you can echo. So TTY is exactly where the terminal is. This is the file of the terminal, of your terminal. So this is how to talk to this guy right here. You want to talk to him? There's a specific way to do that as well. And you can say echo. Hold on, that went into the chat. Echo. Hold on. I'm trying to open up the other Control BZ. I don't think I think when it closed, it didn't open up. Okay, so let's go back over here. Control L to. So now I'm on this pane talking to this pane. That's what I'm going to do. So echo. Now to actually say words, you need to do something that is called a string. And in the programming world, most people know what this is already, but a string is normally in double quotes. Some languages is in single quotes, but I've learned a few languages, and usually best practice is double quotes for some of them. So I just stay with double quotes for all languages. So, and then whatever you type in here is like you're typing on a notepad. So let's type hello world. Most people like to type that in as their like first command. So when you type that in, we're gonna go over, say /dev tab PTS tab 3. Okay. So it echoed back, but I'm trying to get it to where. Oh, okay. So TTY. So it should have talked to the other one. Let's see. Let's see what happens with this. But yeah, so it's what's happening is I'm saying, hey, print these words to the terminal, and it printed these words to the terminal. So that's kind of, this TTY will make a lot more sense as we go along. It's pretty much saying, hey, I want this specific type of shell. I want this specific type of terminal, whatever you want to call it. There are slight differences, but for now, just know it's the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to get into some of the nitty gritty. So let's go back to where we PS oxt. This time we'll just do another command to get the processing manager going. And you see how we had all of that. Let's say we didn't want all of that and we wanted half of that. So we'll tail and then we'll dash in and then let's just do 8. So tail is the last, we're going to do the last 8 of that last command. And then that will be for PS dash EF. And then we're going to pipe so we can grep and focus on just canary. And then we're going to pipe again. And now we're going to cut just the first section. So here's a new, let me zoom in for this so we can focus. So cut and then dash D stands for delimiter. And delimiter just means how do you want to section off this? How do you want to section this off? So sometimes we're going to print what we're going to section off. Sometimes it's just a space. Sometimes it's a comma. Sometimes it's a colon. Most of the time it's a space or a colon or a comma. But this will make sense as we go. So boom, we're going to cut that. And then it's going to ask us how many or which section. And we're going to say the first section. You can do multiple sections. Let's see. Where is the E? Oh, the 8 isn't combined. I'm like, huh? Okay. Oh, this needs to be piped. Let's see. Let's see if piping works. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I'll go back and show you that. So what it did was, so it should have grabbed the last 8. We got to get this one right too. So oh, so this has got to be spaced. I had that right. But you can see what I'm doing. So let's go back real quick and let's go back to PSEF. Oh, so these are, so this is very important. So the delimiter, this shows, so when I use the delimiter, it's like saying, hey, how does this separate? And you see how these separate by spaces? Some things, you see how this separates by colons, obviously these, but that's part of the same section. But some of the files will separate by colons, once again, commas and spaces. So just to make this better, we just put a space in there. Boom, there it goes, finally. So well, at least that part is working. Now let's see why, I think this doesn't need to be piped. I think it needs to go, it probably does need to be piped, but let's see, let's go to dash F and then pipe it again. We're gonna get this right. It's asking for the file name. So N space 8, and then where would this be? Processes. Honestly, I don't have no clue, but since I don't know exactly where that's at, let's just get rid of tell for now. And you see we have this, and I'll tell some stuff in a little bit. But with that being said, now you could see how we were able to go to the processes and print out the username. So we printed that out, and we grabbed just canary, and we cut out the spaces to separate just the first section. So let's say we wanted to look at section 1, and let's call it, let's see, section 5. Now, I don't know the exact spaces. You would have to count the spaces to know. So this could be 6. Let's try 6. So boom, there we go. We were able to find the next section. Let's say 10. We were able to find that section. Let's go to 9 real quick, see if 9 gives. So this is all giving us different information. If we go back and compare real quick, we can see what all it gave us. So we were able to find 40927, whatever that is. It's definitely in this bracket. One of the important processes in this bracket. So let's say we go over here and change it to, come on, go over there. All right, and then change it to, I wouldn't know. Like I would have, oh, okay, so 12 did that. So how would, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You see what I'm doing? So hopefully you're understanding what I'm doing with cut. And so 12, this is either 13 or 14. Let's try it real quick, just so we can see. Yep. So see how we were able to find the points. This is really important. This helps you, once again, find files and grab specific things so you can throw it into your notebook. Or if you needed to grab all of the, credentials of a full Active Directory or something like that, or whatever you have access to, and you want to grab all the names, James, the lead, and all Sam and all of them, you want to grab all that and just pull it into one file that you can take real quick and hide it, or whatever you need to do to be able to look at these credentials. This is the type of stuff you need to learn. So this is why I'm explaining all of this. So let's check one more thing. So let's go back. And modify something real quick so you can see grep. So now you've seen, I mean, I know I've already did it, but we need reps. So now we're trying to grab just root. Okay, boom. Now we were able to grab root. And then let's go to 13 real quick. 0.4. So we're able to grab wherever that's at, but you see it. Oh, that's canary 0.4. So that's right here, whatever this bash command is. But so yeah, that's that. Let's move along. While we're at it, we're going to reiterate saving. So we wanted to grab all that information, and we already have something called processes. So we'll call this process 2, and then we'll save it to here. So remember, that's save process. You're creating a file right now as this is happening. Got to call it 2, process 2, and then boom. Now we're gonna get some reps with Vim. See, let's get on in there. So now we're going to go back to Vim and then process to tab. Don't forget that handy tab. And now look, we have all, oh, that's not really anything important, but I do want to show you a few things. So remember, you have your command mode, you have your I for insert mode down here, and then escape to get out of there, and then shift and colon for your last line mode. See how it's ready? So like I said, my number one thing I like to do, and you can get this saved, but right now reps is more important than having some saved file, in my opinion. The more times you do it, you'll never forget it. Okay, so last time we did Elf Lord, which is my favorite. We're gonna go to evening. No, I've never tried this one. Ooh, this pretty bland. So I got too much style for that. Let's say, all right, then tab. Get out of this one before I fall asleep myself. Okay, morning. Ooh, too bright. Tab. Tab. Let's go back to Elf Lord. So anyway, we're back in command mode. You see it blinking right there and you don't see the I. So to go to the bottom is, I believe, GG. So GG goes to the top. Shift capital G goes to the bottom. So that's the last line. Control G. So just don't forget about the G's. Just whatever you do, don't forget about the G's. Control G shows you what the name of the file is, how many lines, and where you are. So you're 100%. So let's say I go to the top, I should be 1% or something like that. Now let's do Control G again, or let's move over a little bit. Okay, now Control G. Now it shows I'm at 0% because I'm at the top. So let's say I wanted to go down a few, I'm 13% into, so you get the point. So let's go to I real quick, insert mode, and let's just type in some stuff. So 16 root 16 is where it's at, baby. Boom. There we go. And then let's go down to another one. Root 20. Root 20. My second home. I'm just coming up with random stuff. So to delete, I'm in an issue. I'm in an issue. To delete, the best way to delete is, let's just type some stuff real quick. You would press escape. Now you go back to command mode and you just press X on whichever ones you want. Go hover over it, press X. Hover over it, press X. Let's say we don't even want this. We don't want any of this and we want to get rid of this completely. We will press double D. Double D it's really to cut, like, you know, your normal cut. But for now, you can just use it to cut a whole line. Or something like that. And then if you wanted to paste, you would press, what is double Y. So let's try that again. Double D, and then double Y. Oh, double Y is the copy. To paste is, what is the paste? Vim paste line. This is the main reason why I'm getting back into this, is to help grow with other other ethical hackers in mind, any cybersecurity folks in mind, but I also want to reiterate, keep my skills going and grow. So let's see real quick. So it's just saying double Y. Okay, so let's type some stuff in, and then to copy the whole line is double Y. Oh, we have to get out of here. So we gotta go to command mode, double Y, and then YY. Oh, then P to paste. Oh, there we go. So there you go. So Y to copy, D to paste. So Y to copy, P to paste. Let's go up here. Let's get some iterations going, and let's actually type something important or something that'll differentiate all this other stuff. So let's see. Let's go back. T. Going down. All right. So let's do this. DD. Oh, go escape. Go back up here. X to delete. X to delete. Go to the beginning of the line. DD. And then paste. Okay, that's what I was trying to do earlier. So DD to delete the whole line, and then paste. And just play around as you can. If you're watching this video, just keep playing around in here. There's another thing you can do. You can go to colon, and then you can type in tutor. Let's see, hold on. Tutorial. What is that command? Tutor and Vim. Oh, so let's see. Vim tutor. You would probably have to back out for that. So let's, we don't care for this file. We went to last command with colon, and then Q, and then exclamation mark, and then Vim tutor. I just wanted to show you this. And now when you're in here, you can just do whatever you want. It tells you everything you need to know. Like I said, kite on the last episode is up, and then look at your keys. H is to the left, L is to the right, and J is like the hook to go down. And then you can delete anything you want, DD, and then you can P. So anyway, let's get back to business. Colon, and then Q. All right, so something else that is really important. So we did cut. Oh, we need to show you what change mode is, and this is kind of where we get into the file systems. So now we're finally messing with file systems. So change MOD just stands for change mode, and this is kind of like a system admin. This is a system admin uh, command, and this is to add new people in. So James just hired Becky, and now we're gonna add her into the system. So change mode, and then we'll use, well, actually to add her in, we have to use user add, and then we'll say her whatever her name is, Susie. And then, oh, I don't have permission, so I need to get sudo, and then I'll show you change mode, because we kind of need to see someone's permissions real quick. Sudo user add. Okay, so now we look at let's see where We do a ls-l. How do we get to her? Hmm. If we made new user, oh, okay. So we will go to /etc/group. I don't know where that came from. /etc/group. We will cat that. And now you see me, you see someone else. These are all the users that are part of this group, and the systems and their passwords. This X and inside of this colon that means they have a password, but it's not here. It's in another file. It's usually in the etc shadow that I showed you. And then you see how we just made a new uh, user. So let's go and let's look at a file. So for change mode, we will look at a file. That's what we need to do. So first of all, let's list the files. So list dash L the file. Okay, so we'll just mess around with um the process too. Something that's not irrelevant right now. So remember how I kind of showed you last time? This is the link. This means whatever type of file you have, it's the link. And then this shows all of the permissions. So this means that they have user, read, write, and executable, group, read, write, and executable, and other. Um, so going back to that, this shows that this shows that for this file we have um, we have read and write, and then that's in the user section, and then in the group section we just only have read, and then in the other we only have read. So let's give ourselves, so change mode will give us more permissions. So let's give us more permissions. So we wanted to um, give ourselves more permissions. Let me use both screens so I can see this a little bit better. So Control V Z. I'm just pasting that over there so we can see. Okay. So the first thing it's going to want to know is what section. So that is saying U or G for group, or I believe O for other. So U, and then it's going to ask, what are we doing? Are we taking away permissions or are we adding? So if we're taking away, it's minus. If we're adding, it's plus. And then equal is another, if you want to give equivalent. So let's say, so we want to add the W or the executable. So we ended up, so we added that, and then it's going to say to what file. And this was for, so the argument is the file. I think we wanted to do this was for process 2. So we can just go back and take out that B. That B does not belong there. So now when we go back and we dash L, and now you can see that it, and Control B. Come on. All right. There was a little lag going on, but Control B. All right. Now I'm just trying to copy this and put it next to the next. Now you can see how I gave myself executable rights for this. So you can do this when you're finding specific files and you need to, obviously, like I said, go from Sam to James by giving yourself more privileges. So with that being said, I believe that's everything. Yeah, copy copy is kind of self-explanatory. So let's say we wanted to copy process. Oh, this is in a whole different, let's see, process dot txt, and we wanted to copy it to, we'll call it copy dot txt. Oh, yeah, this is in a different, it doesn't even register process. Yeah, that's weird. So let's go over here and do it. So copy process dot txt, and we won't call it copy, that's too bland. New process dot txt, and then we'll vim real quick, new process, and it copied all that stuff. That's all copy is. It's pretty simple, nothing exciting about it. Let's see, let's get ourselves out of here. All right, now that we have everything we need, we are now heading into the section of me enumerating. And if you watched the last video, I kind of gave you some of the systems and the steps that I use. And it's really important to kind of build yourself a system. You don't have to use exactly mine. I'm just giving you a basic attack surface. But obviously, like I said, it's like if you were driving to wherever you wanted to go, a specific place, and you don't always need to go the same street. Sometimes you go this way, sometimes you take the highway. You know, you get the point. There, those attack surfaces are different routes. And the biggest thing that in the system I'm showing you as a beginner is we're going to be using Metasploit whenever we can, because this is like riding, this is like using your training wheels, riding a bike with training wheels, or this is like driving to the place with Google Maps. So you have some sort of GPS system instead of going blindly and trying to figure it out. So um, as we head into there, the first thing was already done, but we're going to go back and do it again. So we see that we ended up putting in the put in the IP address and we received this. And I like to tamper around with the website as much as I can before I hack. But obviously, you see, there's nothing to tamper with. It's not even a full website. It's just a string that says "Hello World," which is what we kind of just did already in Bash language, if you will. But now this is in HTML, so which is part of a structuralized language that helps um, show off JavaScript and other websites and other programming languages. So anyway, I like to use Control U. When you use Control U, let me. I'm going to have to show you Control U on a real website because this is kind of boring. Um, which is they're just making it easy for us. So let's go to a real website. Now, don't tamper with any of the stuff. This is just me showing you um this is just me showing you what Control U does. Okay, we'll go to Wikipedia. So we'll press Control U, and then what pops up is actual real code. Now, don't get intimidated by all this stuff. Um, all you need to know is you can see a HTML header, and that's usually the opening tag, and then at the bottom, which would take centuries to get to, would be a closing tab. So that just lets you know you're looking at HTML and what just happened. Okay. So obviously, sometimes when you look into, or at least a good practice is back in the day, they're probably definitely not doing it now. There could be some ancient websites, but I highly doubt it. Um, they used to hide a lot of the passwords in the code. So this is why this is important to know. This is JavaScript, which is kind of shown by this script tag. It's an HTML script tag, and it's showing a function and a variable. I mentioned that. And then, you know, here's a string right here. You can see that little beginning. But we're not going to get into the depth of that. I don't want you to be going around in circles. Just relax and let me do my thing and follow along if you want. So those are link tags. I just wanted to show you that. You'll see this mainly when it comes to tags, because for me, when I code, I just div everything. Unless it's a link, I don't put see, they're divving everything. I don't put if it's a paragraph or if it's a whatever type of, there's all type of tags that'll say, is this a paragraph or is this a title or is this a this or whatever. I just div it all. I'm lazy. But anyway, so let's get back to business. Here we go. We just controlled U, and all we see is one B tag that shows hello world. And then under, you see a comment. So this is how you make a comment. And then it shows Neville blog directory. See, they hid something. Nothing interesting here. So what does this mean? This is when you look at a website, even if you look at this website right here, um, anything after the slash, and this is really important for web exploitation. Make sure you write notes, pay attention. Uh, anything after the slash is called a directory. It's just like how we were doing messing with directories in the terminal, but this is obviously on a website, so this is on a different, different type of network. But this is still the same concept. This is like using CD into it or whatever. Well, that's not really. It's just a directory. Just know that. And the directory that we're on is called index.php. So what did they tell us with that by reading this? It says that there's a directory called Nibbleblog. Let's go see what it is before we even do any hacking. Forget it. Let's go. Nibbleblog. Please provide host and password and URL parameters. So that just means they want a password. We don't know nothing about that yet. So let's go back. we don't know anything about a password at this moment. We just know that we want to get onto this site. And we have this. Okay, so now let's actually get to doing some terminal, using a terminal and stuff like that. So let's go to get the IP address. Now remember, an IP address, as we're getting it like this is just equivalent to like seeing google.com and or amazon.com. It doesn't matter. We're just getting the IP version of it and not the DNS transferred words. So first thing we want to do again is nmap. If you remember from last time, I have a certain way I like to do things. So nmap scv dash capital PN little n, and then we're gonna paste the target. While that's working, I like to go over here and brew up GoBuster. Dang, that was close. That was quick. We're still gonna brew up GoBuster, and now GoBuster. If you remember the last episode, I wasn't able to find anything with GoBuster, but we're seeing that there's directories hidden. So let's go see if there's more. So the GoBuster is usually -u. I don't try to remember it. I actually, there's too many tools and too many things going on. GoBuster. So I mean, I kind of know it, but I prefer to just look it up and have some sort of, I have it in my notes as well. Okay, let's see. Stop giving me too much information. Okay, so we want to specify that we're looking for directories, then -u. Then it wants to know the name of the website. So HTTPS or HTTP, because this is HTTP. And the reason why we know that is on this side, we could see right away that the HTTP port is open. And let me tell you, anytime you have this open or SSH, this is to remote connect to another endpoint, another computer. So Sam left his computer open and we got his credentials. We can go home